necessarily you watching at home, I found this sound that someone made on TikTok talking about, I guess, some controversial opinions, and you can either agree with them or disagree with them. I would love to know your opinion down in the comments, obviously respectfully, of course, and also like the video if you do like this idea. I can do other topics, ideas, things like that, so make sure you like the video, give it some support if you do like it as well. And we're doing, yes, still the 7.5k sub giveaway. We're only 100 subscribers away. That is so awesome. I cannot wait to give back to you guys. It's been such a long time, and then after that, hey, 10k subs is just around the corner, so also very exciting. And yes, also super shout out, super appreciation, super thank you to J. Thank you so much for the super comment on the last video. You are the best. You're always around. You're even a mod in my live streams. Thank you so much, dude. You've been around for such a long time. I cannot thank you enough. I love you. Anyways, other than that, I think we can finally start getting into some controversial topics. Okay, guys, so like I said, this is definitely more of a, I guess, test video on this. I am going to be playing a sound from TikTok. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'm going to try to make it kind of quiet, but if you don't hear it, I'm going to repeat the question, or I guess statement they say, and me and you watching this can either agree, disagree, we can talk about it. It could be kind of cool. So I originally heard this sound from TikTok. I don't know what else you would call them, like, the little, when it's a music sound, it's a sound, you can sort of just make it that through TikTok, through Chilltown Hoops, which is sort of like everyone's sort of favorite sort of guy on TikTok for basketball talk. It's not his original sound. I have no idea where the original sound comes from, so sorry if I'm not crediting this right, but if you go through him, you can find the sound, and you can find whoever did it themselves. So, yeah, I guess with this first set of topics we can get into, this is apparently the wing player edition, so I'm assuming guards and forwards and stuff, so should be pretty cool. Alright, let's get started.
Controversial NBA opinions, wing player edition. Devin Booker will win a scoring title.
Alright, so if you didn't hear that, I've only heard like the first like 2 or 3, so after that, I have no idea what this person's going to say, so hopefully it's nothing too bad. But they just said Devin Booker will win a scoring title. Whoa. I am going to have to disagree. Now, if you would have asked me this question or just gave me this statement 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago, I would probably agree with it, but an amazing player, one of the best scorers in the NBA, obviously, but obviously James Harden is James Harden. That's not even a discussion, but I mean, I guess if you want to compare Bradley Beal to Kyrie Irving, that's a great topic, or even Bradley Beal and Jaylen Brown, who, would rather give up a little bit more offense for defense. That's a whole conversation you can have, but I'm going to say no. Great player, but no.
Zach LaVine is better than Donovan Mitchell.
He just said Zach LaVine is better than Donovan Mitchell. I'm going to say no. And I love Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's my favorite player on the Bulls. He is one of my favorite players in the NBA, really. But I just feel like even though I think Zach LaVine might be a more all-around offensive player, he's got good inside game, ball control, he can facilitate when he wants to. Obviously, an amazing dunker, an amazing shooter. But man, I think just the scrappiness of defense that Donovan Mitchell can bring. He doesn't do it all the time, but for being a 6'1", 6'2" guard, he has a tenacious sort of energy that he brings to the court, and I love that on both offense and defense. Both are high flyers, both are great offensive players. I just think, me personally, I would rather have Donovan Mitchell. No offense to Zach LaVine. I love Zach LaVine. But me personally, Donovan Mitchell.
Brandon Ingram will make at least 5 All-Star games.
Brandon Ingram will make at least five All-Star games. I'm gonna have to say, oh my god, actually I don't know. That's so tough. I think he already has one. I think he has one, doesn't he? So he needs 4 more. I think he will. I mean, he has the rest of his career to go through. I'm just trying to think about like other young forwards in the West. I mean, you have like, there's Zion and some other ones. I could probably think of it, not on the top of my head. I think he could probably sneak into a couple more throughout his career, especially once, maybe if he does get traded from the Pelicans, gets his own team, gets to have that shine that he definitely deserves to have, then I think it could make more sense. But as of right now, it's a very, very, very close maybe. I think yes. I'll say yes.
At some point, Jason Tatum will be the best player in the NBA.
Ooh. That's a controversial one. He said, if you couldn't hear, Jason Tatum will one day be the best player in the NBA. Oh my god. That's a big statement. I am going to have to say, I might be controversial, but I think I'm gonna say yes. I think Jason Tatum could be in that sort of LeBron KD conversation that we have right now, where it's like, well, LeBron's X and KD's Y. I think Jason Tatum could be X, or I guess some other player could be X, and Jason Tatum could be the Y player, where we're like, okay, well, these two guys are the best players, and it's just based off of your opinion. I think Jason Tatum could definitely be like that, because obviously we have Giannis right now, who's sort of the next up and coming, probably going to be the next best player in the NBA. Obviously, he's up there with, like, in the conversation with Durant and LeBron and Curry for right now. 2-3 years from now, I think it probably still will be Giannis in that conversation, but I mean, Luka Doncic is basically, I think, the same age as Tatum, or maybe even younger than Jason Tatum. So Luka's going to be definitely in that conversation as well. So maybe in a handful of years we go, well, Luka is this and Jason Tatum is that. So it's just based off of your opinion. But then, there's Zion, there's Trae Young, there's maybe Cade Cunningham in a handful of years. Who knows? So do I think he's going to be the definitive best player in the NBA? No, I don't think so. But can he be the best player in the NBA? Sort of like how we talk about, LeBron James is, no KD is, no X player is. Yes, I think Jason Tatum can get to that level. Yes, of course.
Kawhi will win an MVP.
Okay, he just said Kawhi Leonard will win an MVP. I'm going to say no. I think he's already past his prime. I think he's looking for titles, not individual awards. And plus, he doesn't play enough in the regular season to even win MVPs. So that's going to be a no.
Kyle Korver is a top 5 3-point shooter of all time?
Kyle Korver is a top 5 3-point shooter of all time. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say no. Because, I mean, you have Steph, you have Clay, you have Reggie Miller, you have Ray Allen. Oh, wait, could he be? I mean, I guess technically he could be. I mean, you could argue, like, Larry Bird, you could argue Kyle Korver, you could argue Peja Stojakovic, you could argue like Dirk Nowitzki. There's a lot of really good things. Steve Nash would be another really good argument. Even Damian Lillard, man, he's a great 3-point shooter as well. JJ Redick, Kyle Korver. Again, I don't think he's not a definitive top 5, but after you get past like those the Hall of Fame great 3-point shooters, I'm gonna say no. I'm just gonna say no because there probably are some other ones I'm not thinking of right now and being dumb, but I'm gonna say no. I love Kyle Korver though. Love Kyle Korver.
KD is one of the best 3 scorers in NBA history.
Kevin Durant is one of the best 3 scorers in NBA history. I think yes. I think definitely Durant. Then you can argue, Kobe. You can argue Kareem Abdul-Jabbar if you're sort of like that. Even LeBron. You could argue. I mean, you could probably argue Jordan, but I mean Jordan's outside shot wasn't that greatest. So like, if we're talking about scoring from anywhere on the court, I mean, I'd rather have Kobe than Michael. If we're talking about just scoring, just keep that in mind. Yeah, KD is a 7-footer who can hit, 40% on threes, who can dunk over anyone, who is one of the best mid-range shooters in NBA history. He has a great post game. Offensively, Kevin Durant is one of the best of all time. It's kind of interesting that he's not higher up on the scoring list already, but maybe he'll get there by the end of his career. But yeah, I think yes, that answer is yes.
LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time.
Ooh, I think that's the last question. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. I've already given my top 10 GOATs, my greatest player of all time list on this channel before. I don't know if you've seen it or not. If you do, you already know my top 10. And if you do know, I have Michael Jordan as my GOAT. I think Michael Jordan as the greatest, and again, greatest player of all time. Yes, I think Jordan is the greatest player of all time. No one will ever have a career like Michael Jordan. The storyline, the 6-0 in the NBA Finals, the retirement, the return, the Olympics, the dream team. I think the entire story of Michael Jordan is what makes him the GOAT, and what he did for basketball, bringing it basically around the world, globally. It can never be done again, and that's why I think Jordan is the GOAT. But LeBron James is the best, most talented basketball player to have ever picked up the game, ever. So, I think it is 2 different arguments. Jordan is the GOAT. He has the storyline, what he did for the game, everything. And plus, he's also an amazing player. Yes, I think Jordan is the GOAT. But there's no other player who has played the game like LeBron, and that's why I think LeBron is the best. Jordan is just the greatest. He has everything of the storyline and everything like that, if that makes any sense. Okay, that was pretty fun. Let's do one more video on some controversial topics.
Unpopular opinions, NBA edition. Number 1, Bill Russell is not a top 10 player of all time.
He said, Bill Russell is not a top 10 player of all time. Now, I've actually seen a lot of lists that leave out Bill Russell a lot because they always bring up competition and the team he played for and all that stuff. But again, if you go through my GOAT list, I have Bill Russell in my top 10. So I have to say yes, I think Bill Russell is a top 10 player of all time. I do believe so. I think what he did for the game, and I think again this goes into the conversation as greatest, the storyline, what he did for the game, the greatness of Bill Russell is so important to NBA basketball. I think he has to be top 10. You can talk about talent and this and that, and I do take that into some consideration. Like, I'm not saying he's like a top 5 player of all time because he has the most championships, but what he did for the game is so impactful. It's crazy. I think for me personally, Bill Russell is, yes, a top 10 player of all time. Kind of has to be.
Number 2, when both at their peak, better player than Kobe Bryant.
You said at their peaks, Tracy McGrady was a better basketball player than Kobe Bryant. No, I'm gonna say no. Tracy McGrady is, at his peak, maybe a better scorer than Kobe Bryant, but that would be really the only thing I'd take over him than Kobe. I mean, Kobe at his peak was the best scorer in the NBA, one of the best, or if the best perimeter defender in the NBA. The Mamba mentality, the championship pedigree that he had, I mean, was unmatched by anyone. His aggressiveness on winning, like, that is just incredible. Like, his mentality was just insane. I love Tracy McGrady. At his peak, he could have been one of the best, one of the greats of the NBA, but didn't get there. And sure, maybe that is just me thinking about, all of his injury years, but again, at his peak, I would still rather have peak Kobe than peak Tracy McGrady, I guess.
Number 3, Klay Thompson is just a really good role player.
These are some pretty controversial opinions, holy cow. Okay, he said Klay Thompson is just a, glorified role player. No, that is, no. You don't score, 60 points in X amount of minutes being a glorified role player. We're just gonna stop there. No, that's not true at all.
Number 4, Hakeem Olajuwon is the most skilled big man ever.
He said Hakeem Olajuwon is the most skilled big man ever. That's a pretty easy one. Yes, we all know that. His footwork, his post game, Hakeem Olajuwon as a big was unmatched skill wise. I mean, this dude looked like he could be, again, sort of like, if he played in today's NBA, he'd be like a Kevin Durant type of player. Like, he'd be shooting threes, dribbling up the court, doing all that crazy stuff. I think Hakeem definitely had that sort of talent.
As good as he was, Kobe isn't top 5 all time.
Ooh. Yeah, he just said Kobe isn't top 5 all time, even though he was an amazing player. I personally have Kobe top 5, because I have LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, Magic, and then I have Kobe top 5. But that's, again, my list is so different from everyone else's because I really think about, great as, impact on the game, and Kobe Bryant has left one of the biggest imprints, at least on this generation of basketball that we're seeing right now. I mean, you can ask anyone, Kobe Bryant's either their favorite player, their second favorite player, their third favorite player. He has influence in a generation of basketball talent, just like a Jordan or like a LeBron type of player. So that's why I think I have Jordan. I mean, I have Kobe at 5 because his impact on the game. Plus, he was also an amazing player, multiple time, champion, MVP, all that stuff. Could you argue, Tim Duncan at 5, Larry Bird at 5, Shaq at 5, Hakeem Olajuwon, yada yada yada? Sure, I guess you could, but me personally, I have Kobe as a top 5 player, so I would say yes, he is a top 5 player.
Number 7, Anthony Davis is the best player LeBron has ever played with.
Anthony Davis is the best player LeBron has ever played with. I'm gonna say yes. Because we never saw, LeBron with prime Dwayne Wade. We never saw him with prime Chris Bosh. I think the only player you could really argue would be Kyrie. And I would definitely rather have the, defensive capability that Anthony Davis brings to the team. Kyrie Irving is an amazing player, an amazing scorer, one of the best in the NBA, especially during that time period as well. But, I mean, Kevin Durant is the most offensive, skillful player in NBA history, I think. That's so tough. I mean, I think most people just think about the height of Kevin Durant, and that's why they give it to him. But I mean, in the conversation, yes, I think can you argue it? Absolutely. Is he the definitive best? I would say no, because I mean, again, there's Kareem, there's LeBron, there's Kobe, there's Michael, there's some other really great players who can do that. And just because KD's 7 foot and has guard skills, I think that's why people automatically put him ahead of everyone else. But I think it's a good argument. Yeah, guys, I think that is going to be it for me. Hopefully, this video was still relaxing with all that, I guess, extra noise. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to leave some comments down below of your own opinions. I think it could be really cool. Like the video if you do like this video, and make sure to check out yesterday's video or the day before's. I really had a lot of fun playing that board game with you guys. If you guys haven't seen that video, please go check it out. It's one of my favorite videos I think I've ever made on this channel. So if you want to check it out, go ahead. It really means a lot to me. And subscribe to the channel. Almost at our giveaway at 7.5k. And yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this video. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. And I'll see you again very, 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 very soon.